Mini skirt on, dip my body in glitter. Platform sneakers, all the boys want a picture. Two foreign cars, I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with ya. Mini skirt on, dip my body in glitter.
Hello. You are now tuned in to the A Little Bit A Lot podcast. I'm your host, Kristen. Thank you for coming back. I really appreciate it. It's another beautiful day. I feel like I'm always saying that, but it's like, it's just the perfect time of the year where it's like now it's kind of transitioning into weather that doesn't feel completely gross and super hot. Like right now, the sun is shining. I'm watering my plants. I let them sit so I can like bottom feed them or whatever the heck. I am a plant mom. I love plants. I recently got into them like after the pandemic. My dad got me my first plant, and ever since then, really like a succulent. I'm a succulent mom. I know a lot of the girlies, they, like those big plants or whatever, but those aren't for me. Ugh, I'm hot. Because I was just running around like watering my plants. Because I feel like with succulents, it's like hard to remember to water them sometimes though. Because they only need to be watered like once a month. At least mine do. So yeah. But anyway, today I just wanted to talk about the Barbie movie. That's been on my mind lately because it was so iconic. Like, I didn't really know what to expect because I've never been like a Barbie girl. I've always been a Bratz girl. And, growing up, like when I say I was hardcore Bratz, I was hardcore Bratz. Like I had the Bratz phone. I had the Cadillac. Is that what it's called? Like the Bratz car. And I remember one time my dad told me like, don't take that car outside, because I wanted to drive it around, and I took it outside anyway. And then the sidewalk was so raggedy at the time that it messed up the bottom of the car with the on and off switch. And then the car just like wouldn't drive with the remote control after that. So I was really salty. I still feel salty about that to this day. But to make it up, I did buy those little mini Bratz. I don't know if you guys seen that. They're mini Bratz that they've been selling, almost like what are those things called? Mini brands, but like mini Bratz. And I got a car, the same car that I had growing up, with the radio, like in mini form. So I think that's pretty cute. And they just dropped the Kylie collab. So I thought that was really cute. Like Kylie getting into the Bratz world. But yeah. So, Barbie was cute. I think the main points that I really liked about it was the fact that, like, of course, let's address the big topic. The fact that we had a plus-sized Barbie. And I just love that the fact that she was plus-sized and nobody really acknowledged it, And I think that that's such an iconic thing for plus-sized people to be able to be represented in that way. And you don't have to always point out their size. And she was just like, had her kin just as much as everybody else, and she was rocking it. I really, really loved that. I loved all of the representation that they had with all of the different Barbies, actually. They had the Barbie that was in the wheelchair. I thought it was really funny that they had the pregnant Barbie in there. And then when like Will Ferrell came around, he's just like, I thought we discontinued her. And I thought that was so funny. And I like the fact that they had, I think the dog name is Tanner at Weird Barbie's house. We used to have that dog when I was little. I literally remember when they came out with that Barbie that came with the dog that had like the little poop pellets. And I remember they discontinued it because people kept eating or swallowing, the kids kept eating or swallowing the little poop pellets. So I just thought it was funny that in the movie they not only showed the dog, but they also showed the dog moving and pooping. So that was really interesting. I loved that they had Weird Barbie's house, and it was just so funny to me that they were just like, sorry that we call you weird to your face and behind your back. Like Like now they're coming out with a weird Barbie doll for real. Like that's just so cool. But yeah, I really like the fact that they had the plus size Barbie. And I've been seeing that they have like more body positive like ranges of different sizes of dolls. Like I recently went to Target and I saw that they had a plus size Barbie there too. And I'm like, wait, she's a little thick. Like, period. I love that so much. Anytime that we can get any type of plus size representation, like you already know, I'm living for it. So that just really warmed my heart. And I also just like the fact that the movie just made you feel so excited and nostalgic about girlhood. And it's like, you know, what is her name? America Ferrera, her speech about being a woman and how difficult and hard it is and how that inspired Barbie was just so cool. I love her from Superstore. Superstore is like one of my favorite shows. I love the show so much that I am so disappointed that it got canceled. Let me know if you guys watch Superstore. That show is hilarious. Like one episode when Carol tried to kill Sandra's cat. Like I could do a whole episode just talking about all the things that I love about Superstore. If you have not watched that show, check it out. I know that Jonah is really annoying in the beginning. Well, pretty much till the end. But like all of the other characters, that's who I'm here for. Garrett, Sandra, Mateo. Like, oh my God, it's so funny. I was thinking about this Halloween buying a Superstore vest that I found on Amazon and just being a Superstore employee this year. Because last year I was a sim. My dad made me a plumb bob headband and that was iconic. I got lots of compliments when we went to like the little Halloween stroll. That was fun. But I might be a Superstore employee. But anyways, yeah, I really love the America lady from Superstore. That was really cool. I forgot what I was saying. I don't know what I was saying, but anyway, I really liked Issa Rae. I was like late to the show, like the Insecure game. And I recently binged the entire series with my boyfriend. And oh my God, it was iconic. Like it just made me have even more of an appreciation and respect for Issa Rae. I feel like she's a comedic genius. And once again, I'm always here for that Black women representation. So the fact that they had Issa Rae there, you know, being a Black Barbie, I thought was really nice. And she did so good and she was just so funny. And I like the fact that the Black Barbie was the president. I think she was the president or something like that. That ate. Like Issa Rae ate in that movie. Like I didn't find out until later that she was in the movie. So before we went, I was like, oh my God, I'm super excited. And she did not disappoint. Ryan Gosling didn't disappoint either. I really thought he was funny, and I think that they did a good job of portraying like that innocence of Ken, and then in the end, like him wearing the I am Knuff. Is that how you say it? I am Knuff. Hoodie was really, really funny. So I think that it was great. I really enjoyed it. I had a good time going with my sister and just celebrating that. Having a little sister date was so cute. But one thing in the movie that made me laugh was when she got arrested. That was so funny. And then it ended up making me think about like a topic for the pod that I wanted to talk about with a story time about the time that I went to court. So we're just gonna roll into that story. I still can't believe that happened to me, but it did. I think it ended up happening when I don't even know what age I was. I want to say like 19 or something like that, 20. Like I have no clue. I really can't remember what year this was, but it had to be like maybe in 2017 or something like that. But at the time, I had gotten my first car, which was like a 1999 Dodge Neon or something. And it was a car that me and my mom shared. So we only had one car for the household because, me and my mom and my sister all lived together in an apartment at the time. And we would have to share it, so I would use it to go to work. But at the time, I only had my driver's permit. I didn't have like my actual license, but my mom was still allowing me to go to work. So, and this was like fairly new into me getting my card, like her allowing me to still go to work. And the gag is I worked basically down the street from my house. Like I would have to go down this hill, turn left, and then turn right, and there my job was. So it was really, really close. So that's also why she was okay with me going by myself, because my job was really, really close to my house. So at the time I was working at a fast food job, and we were leaving for the day. I had to work like a 5 to close. I think we closed at 10 or something like that, or 11. And when we left, my coworker, she drove off, turned to the left, I turned to the right, and I'm driving down the street, and I turn on Rae Sremmurd at the time. No flex zone, no flex zone, no flex zone. They know better. Honestly, my trauma with the song has gotten better, but for the longest time after this incident happened, I had personal beef with Rae Sremmurd because they reminded me of me getting pulled over. Because as I was driving down that street, literally halfway home, it took me about 3 seconds to get to the cribbo, I get pulled over. And at first I'm thinking, oh, like they're just pulling somebody else. So I have no panic, no fear. I'm just like, okay, let me get over to let the police go. But as I keep driving, I realize that he's still following me, and I'm like, oh, he's pulling me over. What the heck? So he ends up pulling me over, and I am so scared. Like, my anxiety is so bad. I am shaking in my boots. I may as well be screaming, crying, and throwing up. Because as a Black woman, you're already pretty much terrified of the police, and it's nighttime. So it was very difficult for me. He pulls me over, and he's like, I pulled you over because you don't have your headlights on. And since this is an old vehicle, it's not like the headlights were auto. And I could not remember what my mom did to turn them on. So he's like, could you please go ahead and turn them on for me? And I'm trying to figure out how to turn them on. And sorry if you hear that noise in the background. My neighbor's dog is barking again. And I think they're cutting the grass like a few apartments down. I can kind of hear like the humming. But yeah, he's asking me, can you turn the lights on? I'm trying to figure out how to turn the headlights on, but I don't know how. And I'm able to like turn them on, but when I let go of the button, they don't stay on. So I'm like, okay, I guess they don't work. And why did I not realize that I was driving in complete darkness as I was turning up to no flex zone? I have no clue, but I was just young, dumb, and turnt. And I just wanted to have fun. So I wasn't really thinking about it. And in the end, he said, okay, well, can I have proof of insurance? I can't remember where my mom put it. So not only do I not know how to turn the headlights on, but I don't know how to show him the proof of insurance. I have no clue where it's at. And he's also asking me for my license. And then I hand him my permit. And he says, okay. So he goes back to his car, and I'm still shaking in my boots. And I text my sister, and I say, oh my God, I'm getting pulled over right now. I'm so scared. And she's like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And now that I look back at the situation, I probably should have just called my mom, because she was home laying in bed. And I also wondered, now that I look back at it, why my sister didn't get up and go tell my mom, because my mom could have easily just got out of bed, drove, well, dang, I was going to say she could have drove down the street, but she couldn't because we only had one car. But at least she could have been on the phone to help me tell the police, oh, hey, I actually have proof of insurance, or hey, this is how I turn the lights on, and I wouldn't have got as many offenses against me as I did. But I wasn't thinking, so I only told my sister. I'm texting my sister, didn't think about calling her, didn't think about doing any of that. I could have even called my dad. Why did I not make a call? I don't know. But when you're in the moment and you have that anxiety, you're scared. So, and I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm moving too much or using my phone too much or just doing any sudden movements. Like, I don't know. I was just scared. And after that, the police officer comes back and he says, yeah, you only have a permit. Like, you're supposed to have a license. You have to drive with an adult. And I just sat there knowing that I knew that was the truth, but I pretended like I didn't know. And I said, oh man, like I thought this is what this meant, that I could just drive by myself. And I was finally free to go and be independent, be on my own. Like totally playing stupid. And he says, no, like that's not the case. And in the end, he's like, goes over to the other side of the car. He's kind of looking and stuff, making sure I don't have anything on me. And he tells me to come with him. So I have to leave my vehicle. He takes me to his car, puts me in the back seat. Thank goodness I don't have any handcuffs on, but I am now in the back seat of the police car for the first time. So now I'm really shaking in my boots and really ready to throw up, because what am I doing? This good girl, good child, sitting in the back of a police car. And I didn't realize that the back of the police cars don't have a lot of leg space, for real. My knees were busting, knocking up against this little like platform thing that they have sitting behind the front seat. There's no cushion. It's just hard and cold back there. And I'm like, hey, could you at least go get my purse then? So he goes to get my purse. And he's like, I really hate to do this to you, but I have to. Not only are you driving with the permit, you don't have your headlights on, and you don't have proof of insurance, so I'm going to have to impound your vehicle. At the time, I didn't even know what impounding was, so that was really confusing and news to me. And instead of just telling him, hey, I have a, parent, like, I don't know. And also now that I look back at it, I always wonder, why didn't he ask, hey, where are your parents? You just have this like underage minor in your possession and you're not trying to get their parent. I don't know how that works, but I just feel like that would be the right thing to do. This young black girl who's by herself at almost midnight. What the heck? But anyway, so I'm texting my sister like, girl, he's about to impound my vehicle. And he ends up writing me my tickets. I had the 3 offenses or whatever the heck. And he gave me the tickets and he asked, where did I live? And in the end, he took me home, literally down the street, dropped me off. And then I watched, before we got to my house, actually, I watched them call the tow truck. He called a tow truck and towed my car away. So by the time I got home, my mom is thinking that everything's good. And I'm like, actually, in reality, I just got several tickets. The car is now gone. Both of our method of transportation, and we're screwed. So at this time, I am literally having a full-blown anxiety attack. I am screaming. I am crying. I'm so upset. My mom's like, why didn't you call me? I showed you where the insurance was. I showed you how to turn the lights on. But as far as the permit thing, But I just felt so hard on myself because I felt so stupid. Like, if you'd only known to turn the lights on, you would have never had any reason to get pulled over. And the thing that's funny about this story is that even though I was so distressed about getting a ticket, being in the police car, getting my car taken. I was also super panini pressed because whenever you work at a fast food job, sometimes there's leftover food and you can bring that home. And at the time, we had this new dish called seafood salad. And I normally don't like stuff like that because I feel like it was kind of coleslaw-y. But oh my goodness, that seafood salad hit. And they were getting ready to get rid of it. So I had like some of the last batch in a bag in a container in my car. And I forgot to have him grab my food for me too. I only had him get my purse. And I was so upset about that. That seafood salad was possessing my mind. Like, that's all I used to think about. I used to be so excited to go to work just so I could get some of that. I would eat it by itself or have it on a sandwich because we had this ciabatta bread. So then I just felt like, wow, look at me. I'm so unwell because I honestly feel like I'm even more upset about the fact that I couldn't get my food. I left my food in the car. So yeah, that was a crazy time. In the end, my mom was super upset, of course, but she's like, at the end of the day, it was a mistake. It is what it is. She didn't really give me too hard of a time about it or anything like that because what can you do? So going forward at that point, we ended up having to try to get the car back. They had it at some like auction place and we ended up getting the vehicle back. And of course, like a week later, I can't remember how much time passed, but it was several days before we could get the money to get the car out. I had no idea that you had to pay so many fees to get a car back. And my seafood salad, sure enough, was still in the car, spoiled. I was super sad about that. It was traumatic. And in the end, I ended up having to go to court. And that was really embarrassing. Of course, my mom went with me. And it was the type of court where there was so many different people there for one thing. So you had to just go up in front of everybody, do what you got to do with the judge, and then you leave, and then the next person goes up, and the next person goes up. So we're just all in the same room. I don't know if court always works like that in these specific type of situations for what had to go to court for. But in my case, there was only two other people there for the same thing that I was there for. And we were all minors. And the other adults were there for other stuff. So when it was my time, they called me up and I was so scared to go up there without my mom. But I went up there and they had me and the other two kids go up there at the same time. And he basically just addressed us all and said, are you aware that this was, what was going on? Yada, yada, yada. You have to make sure you're being more responsible and you have your license. Make sure you get that. Do you understand? And in the end, he gave us the option to either go to jail for a certain amount of days or pay a fee. And I remember I had one coworker who went to jail and was in the same situation where he had the option to pay a fee or go to jail, and he chose jail. And I remember he got out of jail and still had his job and came back, and I'm like, why would you choose jail? And he said, I'm not paying that fee. Like, it's just so crazy to me how there's dudes out here who will fully be like, it's a vacation. Because from where I'm from in Flint, dudes literally don't care about going to jail. People I literally know, extended family, will have no problem going to jail because they view it as a break. And when I first learned that, it was so crazy to me because who wants to do that? And sometimes they think that it's fun and they, have friends in there that they are excited to be around. And I'm just like, that is crazy. I could never be okay with that. But me, of course, I'm going to be like, no, I don't want to go to jail. I'm going to pay the fee. And I remember at the time, he was like, okay, well, you guys seem like good kids. This is your first offense. So for me personally, he knocked off all the other stuff that was on my ticket or whatever, and I only ended up having to pay just for the not having the permit or whatever, or something like that. I think that's what I ended up having to pay for. And the other girl that was next to me, though, I got to leave and she had to stay back. And I don't really know what happened to her, but from what I heard before I left the courtroom, she was in deeper trouble because she was drinking too. She was underage drinking when she got pulled over. So not only did she not have her license and all that stuff, but she was also drinking. So I always wonder about her. How did her situation end up? But yeah. And once we left the courtroom, I was able to set up a payment plan for my fee. And every 2 weeks when I would get paid, I would go there, pay on it. And then after a couple months, I was done. You know, I was a free girl. So that was a crazy time. It was really, really, really traumatic and stressful. I remember calling my boyfriend too, and he was just super, super gagged and concerned. Like, honestly, I said we've been together for 10 years, so he was rocking with me even then. I remember he came with us to pick up the car at the lot. So, yeah, and at the time, it was super stressful, too, because I didn't want anybody else in my family to know about it, because my uncle at the time was still doing all the stuff to transfer everything over to my mom, so I was scared about him finding out because his name was on the ticket thing that they gave me. Because I think it might have been still registered under him or something. I have no clue. I really don't know the specifics, but I was super scared of him finding out. And I was super terrified of my grandma finding out because, she can be really judgmental. I know I have to talk about that in other episodes, but that was during my era where I used to be super paralyzed with fear about what my family would think, because I would always be given such a hard time anytime I made a mistake about anything. So I really didn't want her to find out. And of course, my mom didn't want to deal with their mouths either, from any of my family. So we ended up keeping it a secret. We kept it a secret. And that was so long ago. My very first car. Since then, I got a Malibu. I had a Jeep. And now I have a Ford EcoSport. I love my cute little car. It's super cute. It's super small. And it's perfect for me. And it's good on gas. So, But yeah, that's my little story time about how I went to court over the stupidest thing. But now I don't have any more beef with Rae Sremmurd. So, Rae Sremmurd, if you're listening, you're going to be listening. I love you now. My boyfriend really, really likes Rae Sremmurd. We were just watching their Rolling Loud performance and it was turned up. I really like watching the Rolling Loud performances. I was watching Fabio Foreigns. I mentioned I like drill music. I always feel like I want to be from New York, so I could be like, I'm from the BX. I'm from the... But, yeah. So, that's that. And moving on to my next segment, favorite thing of the week. I feel like I should make a song for that, favorite thing of the week, hey, favorite thing of the week, hey, I don't know, that would be fun. Me and my boyfriend sometimes make music together. We get on BandLab, we find a beat on YouTube that's free, import that audio, and then we rap over it. Super fun to do when you have a little edible on the weekend and you're bored, and it's just a fun way for us to bond and just have fun together. But yeah, so anyway, favorite thing of the week this week is actually an item. I got a Twilight Saga, for the video listeners or video watchers, a Twilight Saga Funko Pop. It's Jane from the Volturi Guard. Look at how cool this is. I'm super obsessed. She's super cute. I love the bright red eyes on her with the lashes and the brows on fleek. I'm obsessed. And the back of it has Bella and Edward Funko Pops in their wedding dress and tuxedo from their wedding. Those are the next ones that I'm going to try to get. Since moving, me and my boyfriend have started a Funko Pop collection where we display all of our different Funkos on our TV stand because we have a really big TV, so we're able to just line them all up. The one that I got recently before this was Bianca Belair of the WWE. We really like watching wrestling, the EST of the WWE. So that was really fun. But this one is my favorite thing of the week for sure because I love Twilight. I'm trying to get Bella in the wedding dress. But honestly, it's hard to find. There's so many of them out there, but they're $80. That just sucks. Like when you're not able to get a Funko Pop when it first releases, trying to get it afterwards is so annoying. There's one that's in my Amazon cart for $80, but it's like, do I want to pay that? I don't know. I'm trying to find something that's cheaper, but it seems like I can't find anything that's cheaper. So I'll keep you guys updated on that if I'm able to finally get the Bella wedding dress Funko. But in the meantime, I've got Jane here. We're turned up. I also really like it because when I saw New Moon for the screening that I went to the other week, seeing Jane was super lit on the big screen. She's such an icon. Like the fact that she could just look at people and be like, pain, and put them through that. Like she's so lethal. Like it's no wonder why Arrow wants her on his team, period. That girl's nothing to play with. So yeah, I really been enjoying collecting these Funkos and looking forward to getting my Twilight Funko collection started. They also have one where it's a model of Bella's truck. I cannot find that. And it's not like it's made by the official Funko people or whatever, so that's been difficult. My dad was trying to get it for me too, but it's a journey. But yeah, that's all I have for this week. Super chill episode, reminiscing about Barbie, making me think about the time I got almost arrested. Was it really almost arrested? I don't know. But yeah, that's all I have. Thank you so much for tuning in. Super excited to be here. Do your homework, like, comment, subscribe, rate the pod 5 stars. And if you're interested, share this podcast with people. I'm trying to give world domination because I feel like there's so many girlies out there who are like me, who can relate to me. And honestly, I need more friends. Like, I don't have any friends. Let's be real. So if we can all be a community and if we can all be friends, that would be great. Reach out to me on socials. I'm super friendly. I'm super open. And I look forward to meeting new people. So if you want to reach out. Show your girl love. Leave a comment below. Let me know. Period. Well, let me get out of here. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.